Hi FlossTube, it's Sarah again. I thought I would take a few minutes to start this video by answering some of the questions from the Know Your Needleworker tag. That was done by Trisha, the left-handed stitcher. I know a lot of people start their floss tubes like this. This is like their number one thing in their floss tube, number one. I didn't do that. I'm not sure why. Cat's attacking a box. Sorry about that. So I thought I would take a minute and answer some other questions that maybe I didn't answer. I won't get to all of them today, but look for it in later episodes. So the first one is, where do you live? I did kind of touch on this. I live in Southeast Missouri. I grew up in Arkansas, so I live really close to my family. I spend a lot of time actually with my family. We're a really close-knit group, so that's pretty awesome. And that's part of the reason we moved to Southeast Missouri is we've lived all over the place. We've lived in Washington and Michigan, and we moved from the Chicago area this last time we moved, just so we could be closer to family. We could see them more often. I mean, when we lived in Chicago, it was once or twice a year. Now we pretty much go down there at least once a month, so that's fun. So yeah, Southeast Missouri. That's the short answer to the question. What do you do for a living? I may have touched on this. I'm not sure. I am a stay-at-home mom. I homeschool my daughter. I did say that she was a senior, so yeah, things are things are going to be drastically different for us in the near future. But yeah, I decided to stay at home with her just before her 5th birthday, and we had moved recently. I had quit my job so that we could move, and my husband had accepted a job in the St. Louis area, and I just decided at that point that I wanted to stay home and homeschool. I was homeschooled as a junior high schooler, so it was what I wanted to do, and my husband was on board, so that's what we did, and I've been at home with her ever since. So 13 years later, here we are. Before that, I was a theater major in college. I worked in professional theater for not super long, about 5 years, mostly on the East Coast, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. And then I had some health issues, moved back to Arkansas, and that's when I met my husband and got married and got pregnant and all of that other fun stuff. So then I started working at the local library, the library I grew up in. We were actually living in Arkansas at this point. So I worked in the children's library there, and then later on I started working with young adult. Did programming and collection development and that sort of thing. So that's kind of my past work history. I did temporary work from time to time outside of the theater and library stuff. I would work with temp agencies when, especially in theater, because it's such a seasonal thing. Like the theater I worked at you had a job from basically September to May. So I had summer months. I had to figure out how to survive. So I did temp work where I did filing or data entry, that sort of stuff. So yeah, I've got a little bit of clerical and then a whole lot of library and theater experience before I decided to stay home. Children, pets, and hobbies, kind of went over all of that well, not last week, but on the first video. So if you're interested in any of that, I won't put you through the answering those again. And that's all the questions I'm going to answer for today. I'll tackle the favorite books and movies and TV shows and that stuff next time. So stay tuned. I made notes today because I realized after I finished recording that I missed some stuff. So if you see me look down, it's just because I'm looking at, I think I just got attacked by a cat. You'll see me looking down. That's just because I want to make sure I don't forget anything this week. So this week I'm going to start with finishes. I have a couple. The first one is, not here. Well, that's not good. What happened to it? Oh, I know what I did with it. I put it in my finish box, because why not? So this is the one that I had shown, I had just barely started on, and I pulled it out of my bag of stuff that I haven't worked on in forever. This one is Catnap. This is stitched with Sullivan's thread on 14 count Aida, so it's a really simplistic pattern. It's all full crosses, so it was easy enough for me to do that way. And I have just a ton of Aida that I'm trying to work my way through. So, you know, right now I'm just really trying to pick up some stuff that I haven't used in a while or haven't worked on in a while, and kind of focus on that. You will see that there that doesn't always work, but so yeah, this is from Daily Cross Stitch. It's called Catnap. Cute cat on a stack of books. I stitched this for my daughter. She just wants to put it in a frame, so hopefully this will be a quick and easy FFO at some point in the near future. I don't know, the blue one especially, the colors, and kind of in the cat too, the colors are so close. It's really hard to tell them. I don't know if that's because I used Sullivan's conversions. I mean, they all have the DMC numbers on them of what you should use. So I don't know if that's the issue, or if the pattern just called for colors that were that close. The blue is really hard to see. You can see a difference if you look real close. But yeah, the green stands out really well. The red, sort of. So yeah, I'm curious. I kind of want to take the two numbers to the store with me when I go and check the two blues and see if they're really that close in the DMC numbers. Sorry about the noise in the background. We have a kitten that's about 7 months old. She was a rescue. I talked about this in my first video, and she is a little bit hyper right now. So she is jumping on everything and attacking everything. So that's fun. So yeah, Catnap. That one's finished. And then my other finish, I talked about this one. I'm going to pick this stuff back up now that I've found that. Talked about this one last time. This is the project that I was working on for my nephew. His first birthday was this past week. And so I worked on this. Actually, this was supposed to be a present for them whenever he was born, but life got in the way. So anyway, I do have it finished. Let's see. Hopefully you can see all of that. This is also another daily cross stitch pattern. I probably should have got a piece of paper or a foam core or something to hold this up against, but I didn't think about it until just this minute. But Red Dragon is the name of the pattern. It's from Daily Cross Stitch. The frame I got from, it was a freebie off of a website called the AntiCraft, I believe. I will go ahead and make sure I link both of those because they're both online patterns in the description box. And then the alphabet came from 365 Alphabets. I'll show you. I adapted it a little bit for my purposes. I couldn't find an alphabet that I was super, super happy with for this project. So it is this one right here. And if you can see, there's like black on the corners there. I just took that out so that I could get kind of more of a, so this would have been black right there in the original pattern. And then I modified a couple of the letters to just be a little bit more what I thought looked good for this pattern. So yeah, that was my bigger finish. It's not really big, but my bigger finish this week. Like I said, I'll link the patterns in. I did a very, very slight bit of work on the Peacock. So there's the photo of what it's supposed to look like when it's done. It's a petite gold collection by Dimensions. And then I maybe did 4 or 5 strands of floss on it. Little bit up in here, mostly down in there. You probably wouldn't even be able to tell the difference if I showed you this week versus last week. Some of these blended turquoises and blues and stuff like that was new. All of this black I did. Those are probably the biggest differences. So I'm hoping to pull that back out a little bit more. But what has had all of my time is I started that Odyssey King of the Jungle. Let me show you. That's the finished picture. This is a Facebook freebie from the Odyssey cross-stitching group there. And I really like lions, so I thought I would give it a try. It's not ginormous, it's not tiny, but it's 300 by 190 stitches, so I kind of felt like I could maybe do that over the course of a little bit of time. Let me not try to work with that right now. I am approximately, let's see if I can do this, approximately 12, 13 blocks in, something like that, 12 blocks in. And then a few more rows down, not quite, 2 more blocks there. So approximately 1,300 stitches in. Of course, the first 10 by 10 squares are, they have a border without any stitches on them. So, yeah, that's where I'm at on it. Obviously, you can't quite tell it's a lion yet, but hopefully at some point. This is the first full coverage I've ever done, and I'm doing it 28 count, even weave, 1/1. I've worked on 28 count 1/1 before, but it's been like Christmas ornaments and stuff like that, where it's a small project. You're not doing full coverage. There was a lot of white space, so this is definitely more difficult than I thought it would be, just because I had done, like I said, I'd done 1/1 on 28 count, and I did not have, you know, when you're working and you're trying to put the needle down through a spot that has a whole bunch of stitches, that's a lot harder. So, but yeah, I'm trucking along on it. I'm doing this as the Stitch Mania has the Nano Stitch Mo kind of play on the NaNoWriMo movement. So it was basically do something that has something to do with the number 50. Now, a lot of people are working on 50 WIPs. Some people are working on, like, they're just going to use 50 colors this month. Or there's one person I believe is doing 50 new starts. So I decided that my goal was going to be 50 10 by 10 blocks. And like I said, right now I'm about 12 into it. I have 5 more rows to have 14, because I'm doing it in basically blocks of 2, row by row. So, oh, cats are fighting. Stop it, kitty cats. We have 3 cats, and they like to make themselves known. So yeah, that's basically my my very small start on this largest project I've ever taken on. I mean, I've done things that are big, but they were like samplers, so it wasn't as full, as much stitching. So yeah, I'm working on it probably about 3 hours a night to get about 200 stitches done. So it's a little bit taxing on my eyes. Actually, that's not even true. It's just trying to get the thread through and I'm using a small needle, so I don't know. Maybe I just need to use a smaller needle. That might make a difference. But I'm trying the parking method for the first time. That's working surprisingly well. I thought it was going to be much harder for me to keep track of stuff than it is. But yeah, I've had a really good experience with that so far. Now, I'm only working with like 6 or 7 colors right now. When I get into the blocks where I'm working on, you know, 20, 25 colors, that might be a different story. So we'll see how it goes as it progresses. See if I'm able to keep doing it, if I need to switch my methods. But I'll keep you updated on that. So those are my WIPs. And then the other things I wanted to talk about, I wanted to take a minute just on every video and talk about one of the FlossTubers that I've been watching for that amount of time. Sorry, cats again. Oh my goodness. So, I had mentioned her on my first video, but Stitching Jules was one of the first FlossTubers that I had watched. And she does a lot of full coverage pieces, so I think that she was a little bit inspirational on me wanting to start this. I've thought about doing, I talked about how I have a couple of full coverage. I have a Mystic Stitch, and I have a, oh, I can't think of the name of the company right now, but I have another full coverage pattern that I had bought from a local needlework shop back in, I don't know, probably 10 years ago. And I just never never decided to start them. So I thought, well, this one will be a fun pattern to start with. And watching some of her stuff and her videos gave me some confidence to actually pick one out and start it. So that's pretty awesome. I know that she's probably not new, and probably any of the people that I mention, at least at the beginning, are not going to be people that are new to any of the people watching my channel. But I do want to, you know, kind of highlight one each week just to basically say thank you for doing this and inspiring me to do this. Next thing I wanted to talk about, I don't have any haul. I don't really, like I said, I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm trying to work through. So I'll probably, my haul for the next little bit is probably going to be mostly floss. Maybe a couple of new starts here and there, but mostly floss. So don't have anything. I did, however, when Heaven and Earth Designs had their sale last month, I put a few things on layaway. I put, let me see, it is, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose the Possibilities Eeveelution Rainbow Max Color, just the regular size, not the super size. I put that on layaway. I'm going to try to stitch that up for my daughter. Yeah, she might be retired by the time I finish it, but we'll see. She is a big Pokemon fan, and Eevee is her favorite. Her favorite of all the Pokemon is Umbreon. So, and he's kind of right down there at the bottom right in the front. So she absolutely fell in love with the design. So I thought, you know, maybe eventually I'll get it started and get it finished. The other two that I got were for me, Mini Spiny Woodland Hopper, and like I said, I'll try to make sure I link everything down in the description, but Mini Spiny Woodland Hopper, it's just a little baby dragon on a stone that has a little dragon itching in it, and lots of green, which is my favorite color, so, I really like that one a lot. That will probably be my next, full coverage start, and I don't know that I'll finish with the lion before I start that. Because I'm excited to. I'm going to try this one, 18 count 2/1. It's about the same size pattern, but I'm okay with that one being a little bit larger on my wall. So that's basically the reason I'm going to do 18 count. I'm really comfortable working in 18 count over 1. I've done a lot of 28 count over 2, but I'm really comfortable in working with 18 count over 1. I know that'll go pretty smoothly for me, so I'm hoping that by doing that I'll get a little bit quicker on the project being finished. Maybe we'll see. And then the other one that I got was, I don't remember the name of it, but it's Fairy Everything's Green, and there's like a little snail climbing up a leaf. And I will, like I said, I will link all those. So those are on layaway right now. I don't know. I'll let y'all know when I get them. When I actually have them in my, I just did the PDFs. So, hopefully, I don't know. I did the 6-month layaway. We'll see. We'll see when I'm able to get it paid off. Christmas is coming up, so that's going to take priority right now. And then, yeah, so that's, I don't even really have a haul. That's my haul, is I put some stuff on layaway. And then the last thing, I thought I would try this and see what y'all think of it. I know I mentioned in my first video that I am a huge gamer, tabletop gamer, and board games in particular are something that I really enjoy. So I thought maybe I'd take, you know, a lot of people talk about the books they're reading or something like that. And I do read. Like I said, I worked in a library. I do read, and I just finished a book that I would love to talk to people about. But, yeah, The Ocean at the End of the Lane, Neil Gaiman. I've not read any Neil Gaiman before. That one was interesting. It's dark. It's creepy. It was a good October read. So, got something flying around me. But I'm going to talk about a board game instead. Because, oh my goodness. A lot of people, when they think of board games, are still really familiar with the mass market games, Monopoly, Apples to Apples, games that you can go to Walmart and buy. Now, Walmart and Target have both kind of upped their board game a little bit, where you can find some of the more modern game stuff that has been imported from Europe, like Settlers of Catan, which is still an older game. That was about 20 years ago, but that kind of really sparked a a whole revolution in the board game industry all over the world. And so I kind of wanted to maybe highlight a game that's come out in the past 10 or 20 years since that's happened. Maybe introduce, if you're not big into the board game hobby, introduce you to some fun games. I'm going to start with one that's actually really pretty easy to find, and really great for family gaming, and it is Suspend. This is a Melissa and Doug game, so you may know Melissa and Doug from, like, you know, wooden puzzles and sets and stuff for kids. This is, let's see if I can find, you're trying to place these, you'll have these, this is what they look like, and they come in different lengths. You'll be placing these rods on this piece that is suspended. That's why it's called Suspend. You're suspending these on that, and trying not to knock it off. I was trying to think, I thought there was an actual picture of people playing it. Oh, that was I still have that tag on. That's from the convention that I helped run. I'll just leave it there for right now, instead of trying to take it off during this. But yeah, you get these big, huge structures with these rods. You're trying not to knock them off. If you knock them off, then you take the stuff you knock off, and it's basically the first person who gets rid of all of their rods. There's a die you roll to figure out what color rod, which corresponds to the length. So there's some in here that are, so that one's a little bit longer. I think this one might be the longest one in here. If you don't have one of that color to place, then you're going to take one from somebody else's thing. So you don't even necessarily have to be really good at it to win. Just to let other people, you know, be really good at it. And then they'll start using yours. You do have to place your last piece. They cannot, if that's the only choice available to them, is for you to, oh my goodness, what am I trying to say? Is for you to place somebody else's last piece, and that you just don't place a piece that turn, and they have to place their last piece. So there's a little bit of skill that's required no matter what. This is great for families because kids are usually better at dexterity games like this than adults. So yeah, tell me what y'all think. If y'all want me to kind of highlight a game each week, if y'all would be interested in that. Like I said, this is my biggest hobby probably is gaming. And it's been a big part of my life for the last, I don't know, when my husband and I have always kind of played games together, even when we first got married. So, yeah, let me know what you think. One thing I did want to mention, I have not had a chance to finish the dragon for my nephew. I am hoping to do that today. I'm not quite sure yet how I'm going to do that. So, but if I manage to, I'm going to go ahead and, I'll just insert a picture here, or maybe even while I'm talking about it. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but keep an eye out. If I don't do it this week, then I might just shoot a little video of it once it's finished and include it in next week's. That might be the way I do it. Anyway, I guess that's all I have for today. Go ahead and, like I said, let me know what you think about the game stuff. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the stuff I'm working on. I know I'm kind of scattered today. But I wanted to, we have appointments and stuff this afternoon, so I wanted to make sure I got this out and done. I won't be uploading this until after I give the present to my nephew, and I'm going to be out of town all day tomorrow. So it'll probably be Sunday or Monday before I get this video edited and uploaded. So yeah, that's really all I have for today. I hope you have a great weekend, or I guess week by the time I get this uploaded. And I'll see you next time. Bye.